Greetings, travelers! It appears you've come across a new discussion video. What is a discussion video, you may ask? Well, it's where Firefox, as you may have already known, discusses interesting questions you have about him or Roblox.
Yeah, obviously I need to brush up on my gnome voice, huh? Yep, so we're jumping right into this one, guys. Question number 1 comes in from Fascinating Fantasies over YouTube, and yes, I'm too much of a lazy editor to put their name on the screen, so deal with it. He asks me, have I ever been bullied on Roblox? Honestly, no. Not that I can remember. If I have been bullied, I either didn't notice it, or it was super petty and I didn't care enough to acknowledge it. One could say on YouTube you could consider like the trolls of the bullies, but to be honest, I just consider them trolls, nothing more, nothing less. You just gotta overcome them and just totally ignore them. But despite never really being bullied, I've seen some people bully other people in game. Mostly in games like Sword Fights in Heights 4 and Apocalypse Rising. I usually try to step in and say, whoa, dude, that's not cool, so like stop being so harsh and rude. But you know what happens when you try to reason with an angry kid on Roblox? Even more fighting, of course! Duh! So that's why I kind of stop defending people or even talking in game when I see a bully. I just kind of ignore the haters, trek forward, because dwelling on something will just more than likely cause more drama, you know? Next question comes in from Hoot over YouTube, and he says, I have known you since the beginning when you had absolutely no subscribers. What was it like growing so big in just 1 year? How did it change your Roblox experience and the way that you played? Alright, so about a year ago I had like 40 subs, and now I'm sitting at roughly 14,000. So, you could say it's kind of unrealistic growing that big in 1 year, you know? Really, it's just been a fun time watching my fan base grow and react to the videos I put out. I'm sorry, I slept for like literally 2 hours last night, so I have a massive stutter and I hit my lamp again for the second time. Anyway, back on topic. Yeah, it's really unrealistic, you know? There was certainly some tough times, like the end of summer 2013, where a lot of drama ensued, but I think everyone has matured enough, you know, everyone involved in that little war, for lack of better words, has grown and matured enough that they don't really care anymore. At least that's what I like to think. And it's also been really cool to look back and see the quality of my videos improve over time. For example, if you were to watch my first few videos and compare them to my newest ones, it's almost like a completely different person entirely, like in terms of quality. Anyway, it changed my playing experience on Roblox drastically. Like, I could literally go into an empty base plate game, and it could get filled with fans within maybe 5 minutes. So, I guess you could say I'm never really alone now. And not only that, but most of my real friends, like Ice, Super, you, Ali, Michelle, Carson, like, I've met all these people through YouTube, and like, I know I've not been talking to you guys as much lately because I'm super busy with social life and school and YouTube, but it's just, I'm glad that I met you guys, and I would have never met you guys without starting a YouTube channel. So yeah, sorry to get sentimental, but that's just how it is. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, please go subscribe to all the people I have linked on my channel. They have great Roblox content. Third question coming in from Rising Fevers over YouTube, and he asks, how come most players have bad grammar and spelling? Don't they go to school or something? Well, Rising, the reason I think a lot of people on Roblox have horrible spelling is because they more than likely just don't care. Keep in mind, a lot of players are in elementary and middle school, and did you really care on how pretty your spelling looked when you were playing a game back in elementary school? Of course not! You just wanted to play the game and have fun! I personally started playing Roblox just before 5th grade. I think it was the summer leading into 5th grade. And at the time, I flat out didn't know how to spell. My aunt actually thought I had dyslexia or maybe ADHD, and that made me literally unable to pay attention to the way I spelled. And you know what? I didn't even care. I was just having a blast playing the game, so I think, coupled with their inability to spell correctly, people just don't care about how correct they look. In the end, Roblox is a game, and you don't have to be serious or professional all the time in a game. Even now, I don't use grammar a lot when I know it inside and out. I just don't care enough, and I don't want to put effort into a sentence since it makes very little difference in the end. Fourth question coming in from Blambu over YouTube, and his question relates to the start of the video where I answered a question about bullying. Blambu asks, Fire, why are there so many bullies on Roblox? Alright, I'm going to try to answer this question as sound as possible. So, when you see a bully, keep in mind they're not just bullying to bully. They're probably having a rough day, or maybe their lives aren't the greatest, and, you know, like, if there's something I've been taught, it's that no one ever just does anything without a reason. Well, maybe unless you're a sociopath, but even then you have a reasoning that your mind is really screwed up. People bully because it's an outlet. Although unhealthy, it's an outlet to release some anger, or maybe their mom has hit the bottle one too many times and they're really upset. Yeah, you know, you gotta remember, people who are bullies are human just as you are, and sometimes can't find healthier ways of expressing their feelings, so they express them in often hurtful ways. You know, everybody has their limits, and some people just, they let loose, is what I'm trying to say. Anywho, fifth question comes in from the Hman72 on YouTube, and he asks, does scripting improve the quality of videos? Well, while I can't tell you from personal experience at all because I suck at scripting, I would think scripting could definitely help making Roblox videos. You could probably be more detailed and make NPCs move in animated ways, but if you're somebody like me, you prefer to kind of trick the viewer and make it look like something is happening, but in reality it's not. So yeah, I'm sure it could help, but I wouldn't know from personal experience. And that looks like it's it for today, guys. I hope that you liked this week's discussion video. If you want, you can ask me a question over YouTube, Roblox, Facebook, Tumblr, or even Twitter. All of those linked in the description below. Although I have to admit, I use YouTube way more than any of those other sites. Once again, I apologize for my voice and my overall tone. I am very tired, and I want to get this video up because I don't want to leave you guys hanging, and I actually wanted to make a video today because these are some very interesting topics I found listed on my previous discussion video. So, in other news, new Roblox machinima tomorrow. I think I made the same mistake last week. Tomorrow's machinima is going to be called Saving Shedletsky, and it's pretty different compared to the rest of my machinimas, so I hope you guys like it. And as always, you guys, have a lovely day. Hopefully with a lot of sleep, so you don't end up like me with a horrible stutter.